Hello to my fabulous students in room 13. Miss T here again with another read aloud. I hope you guys are enjoying your day and I hope that you are going to enjoy this read aloud. This is another one of the books that I love to read. I usually read this in the fall at the beginning of the year, so I felt that it was fitting we read it at the beginning of our e-learning. So this is called Bad Apple, A Tale of Friendship by Edward Hemingway. What do you think this story is going to be about? Take a look at the picture at the front and tell me what you think. There's an apple. What's in that apple? A worm. That's a worm. Do you like to eat apples with worms in them? Probably not. But let's see what happens in this story with our apple and a worm. Bad apple. Mac was a good apple. That's Mac. He was a good apple. He shared his toys with other apples, helped Granny Smith pick up after art class, and loved to dive fearlessly into the water hole. On a sunny day, Mac could bob around for hours. So there's Mac and all of the good choices he was making. He was sharing with friends, helping teachers clean up, and just relaxing and having a good time. On cloudy days, Mac would stretch and search for the perfect pillow of green grass to take a long nap. Ah, in his dreams, it was always sunny. But one day, as Mac lay sleeping, it began to rain. Oh no, he was taking a nap, and what happened? While he was sleeping, it started to rain. How would you feel if you were stuck sleeping outside in the rain? I do not think that would be too fun. I would probably run home. I'm sure that's what Mac did. Let's see. Soon all of the little creatures in the earth around him poked their heads out to look for higher ground. Some of them found safety under a large toadstool. Others crawled into stones and pebbles. But one small worm had another idea. There's that small worm. I wonder what his idea was. He wanted to get out of the rain. Where do you think he went? Look at the front for an idea. When Mac woke up, he was covered in raindrops, and he wasn't alone. Who do you think was there with him? You won't believe it, the dream that I just had. I had a dream that a funny little worm was tickling me right here, he said. Do you think that was a dream that a worm was tickling him? Let's see. And now I can't seem to get this worm out of my head. It was you. And that is how Mac met Will. So our worm's name is Will. Will the worm and Mac the apple. And now Will is living with Mac. Will showed Mac how to fly a kite, how to fly himself, and how to play in the dirt. He loved making a mess. So they were flying kites, they were flying Will and Mac, and playing in the dirt. You're right. Mac took his new friend to the watering hole to clean off. He couldn't remember a better day of having fun with a friend. So Mac and Will are now becoming best friends. Until he took Will to the orchard. Now remember, an orchard is where there's lots of apples, and the apples got mean. Ew, look at Mac. Ew, he's got worms. Mac's a rotten apple. Hey, I'm not rotten. I'm quite sweet actually. So they left the orchard. There's Mac over there with Will. How does he look like he's feeling? Yeah, he looks like he is feeling really sad. Why do you think he's feeling really sad? You're right, probably because these other apples are making not good choices and they are bullying him. They are saying mean things to him, and that's making him feel sad. Will cheered Mac up by reading aloud from some of his favorite novels. He was a bit of a bookworm, if you know what I mean. Mac liked adventure stories the best. He also liked when Will finished his sentences for him. The most exciting part is when the pirates find the treasure in the dirt. That's just what I was going to say. So he cheered him back up. What did he do to cheer his friend up? He read books to him, and they loved books about adventure. So that's a really nice way to be a good friend, to cheer a friend up when they're feeling sad. But the next day, it happened again. Ha ha ha, it's the bad apple. Ew, he has worms. When all these people were being mean to Mac and Will, how do you think that made them feel? Probably sad again. Nobody in the orchard would play with them, not even the crab apples. Ew, you're a bad apple. Crab apples can be so mean. Wow, do you think it's a good choice to not play with people? I think that's making a sad choice. That night, the two friends sat alone on the grass without saying a word. In the morning, Will was nowhere to be found. Oh no, Mac woke up alone, and in the mud it said, "You are a good apple. Love, Will." Oh no, but Max looks like he's still feeling pretty sad because who's missing? His friend Will. Where do you think Will went? Let's see if we can find out. Mac went back to play with his orchard friends, diving fearlessly into the water hole and painting in Granny Smith's class. But nothing was the same. Mac's doing all the same stuff he used to do, but it's not as fun anymore. Why do you think it's not as fun for him? Probably because his friend Will isn't there. There was a hole in Mac that couldn't be filled. Not a big hole, just a teeny tiny little one, just small enough to fit a worm. And nobody finished his sentences anymore. Oh, how is he feeling? So sad. Sometimes if you don't know where your friends are, you might feel sad too. That makes sense. Mac had to find Will. He searched low and he searched high and in between and in the dirt and around the watering hole. And just when he had given up all hope, look at all the places that he searched, low and high and in between. Do you think he's going to find Will? I hope so. He looked up in the sky. What does he see when he looks up in the sky? That's a kite. Do you remember who taught Mac how to use a kite? If you said Will, you're right. I wonder who's at the other end of that kite. Let's see. It was Will. They found each other again. There's Mac and Will. What is Will doing? He's reading books. Oh, wow. Mac looks so happy to see his friend. Mac knew that he'd rather be a bad apple with Will than a sad apple without him. I was hoping that I could. Help me turn the pages? I would love that. How did you know? Because you will always be a good apple in my book, Mac. Oh, and the two best friends stayed best friends forever and ever and read stories together and had adventures. Wow. You are good and happy, and there's nothing bad about that. The end. Ah, I hope you enjoyed that story as much as I did. So let's talk about what it means to be a good friend and what it means to be such a good friend. In the story, there was lots of different things. When Will taught Mac how to fly a kite, do you think that was being a good friend or a bad friend? What about when the apples were being mean and bullying them and saying mean things like, "You're a bad apple"? Is that a good choice or kind of a sad choice? So you're going to think more about those things and send me some ideas about good choices and not so good choices about being a friend. Enjoy!